There are certain things I love to do that are also good for my health, like shopping.
BestMed Medical Scheme. Better living, better life.
Thank you so much, Liesl. Now, if there's one thing worth investing your time and your money in, it would be your health. And being backed by a good medical aid is is really of utmost importance, and you need to understand it to work best for you. So this morning, we are joined by Ellery Hendricks from BestMed Medical Scheme to give us a bit of info on what we need to know when it comes to medical aids. Ellery, very nice to have you in studio this morning.
Thanks, Ewan. Thanks for having me again.
So as I've said, you know, a proper medical aid or medical plan is of utmost importance. You need to understand how it works. Now, when it comes to medical aid schemes, there's so many different options. I mean, how do you even begin to choose which one is best for you?
Yes, I agree with you. You know, sometimes when I look at it and I see the interpretation of the public outside, then I feel sorry for them, because even within our industry, you know, we sometimes get just caught up in all of it. I think that for you to understand and to just have a feel of what it is that medical schemes offer is to probably understand that fundamentally there are 4 different categories of products that you can get. Okay. All right. So you get a hospital plan, which is quite standard. You know, you understand, the name says it all. Yeah. It's a hospital plan. It offers you coverage when you are in hospital. Right, okay. So that's fairly easy to understand. Easy, yeah. With medical schemes, there's a few more things that come with it, but we can explore that a bit more. Then you get what we call a new generation scheme. Yeah. Now, new generation schemes are almost one of the new kids on the block. You know, it's not as old as some of the other products. There you get a combination of a savings account, and you utilize your savings account for day-to-day expenses. That is coupled with your hospital plan. A lot of medical schemes, and most of the new generation schemes, you have a threshold that you've got to reach. I know it's jargon. There's a self-payment gap where you actually pay bills out of your pocket. I see. And once you've reached that threshold, then medical schemes benefit kick in again.
Then it takes over.
You know, yeah. So it's a bit more complex. Yeah. Luckily within BestMed we don't have that. Our members have a bit of an easier ride where they don't have to understand when do I start footing the bill before I get to risk benefits.
I like it, you know, from you guys. Just can't keep it as simple as
possible.
We're
trying as hard as we can. And then you get what we call traditional schemes. That's the old thing. I mean, like when we started working 20-odd years ago, without giving our age away, we actually just went and you took out a medical scheme and you went to the doctor. You didn't worry about anything because all your benefits were structured. You had so much for doctor's visits, you had an allocated amount for optical, allocated amount for dentistry. The only downside on that is that once you've utilised it and there's no more benefits left, then you're left on your own, all right? Exactly. And also, what you don't use in the year on a traditional scheme, you don't carry over to the next year. You don't accumulate. You lose out. That is, it's lost to you. What I forgot in the new generation now is savings that you don't use do accumulate to the next year.
I see. Right. So it rolls over, which is great.
It rolls over. So then we became a bit more clever, I think, on the medical scheme side, and we thought, how do we combine these 2 worlds, you know, of a new generation scheme and a traditional scheme? And we created products that we now refer to as hybrid products, right? So these hybrid products have a combination of a savings element to it, and then it's backed up by scheme risk benefits, right? I'm trying to put it as simple as possible. So especially within BestMed, we've got an allocation where you've got savings accounts, and once you've utilised your savings accounts, you go into what we call scheme benefits, which will then be structured as limited benefits, and those benefits within the risk side, if you don't use it, you lose it. Exactly. But on the savings account, of course, that carries over. It carries over,
but that is the great thing about all these different kind of schemes, because it suits different people at different stages in their life, which is great. And from you guys, I know you try and keep it as simple as possible. Ellery, thank you so much for joining us. Always nice to chat to you on the show. If you have any more questions on your medical aids, or you know, just the fact that having a medical aid you don't completely understand it, you can log on to expressoshow.com. We'll put some more info on that. But make sure that you are covered by a good medical aid, because you just never know when something might happen. We'll be right back.